Welcome back to some of the most professional StarCraft 2, the DreamHack Atlanta 2022 semifinals. Let me introduce, in the top right of data C, the favorite to win pretty much anything in StarCraft 2 and beyond. The finisher, it is Serral, current reigning world champion and Fedora icon. He's up against an upstart. Rank 17 right now, 16 ranks below Serral himself overall, but managed to battle his way through Clem, who was Serral's biggest obstacle. We have Bunny, the Korean Terran player known for timings and high-pressure play. I don't really see him as much of a late-game player, but if he can push Serral early, he might be able to push him over the edge. Place your bets. Put your comments in. I expect not a short series, and I don't think it's necessarily indicative of how this series will go. That TVT is a very, very different matchup than all mirror matchups are, but TVT especially has a different skill set required than Terran versus Zerg. It is much more technical. It's much more like I've figured out the right build and how to react to it. TVZ is a lot of the time just a war of attrition. That's the way Serral manages to win in these many later game scenarios. He just outlasts you. He's just going to keep rolling banelings in. He's just going to keep throwing infestors at you. He's just going to keep spreading the creep and doing the injects until you crumble. And it can be very hard to keep up against that. And that is why, I mean, he's the best at it. And part of the struggle for a lot of Zerg players at anywhere below the Serral level is the skill ceiling on the mechanics. And also part of the reason it's hard to pinpoint exactly what Serral does so well. It's because several hundred APM of playing Zerg is just playing Zerg. I know, that sounds dumb. And I usually do, but let me explain. Injects, creep spread, overlord spread, larva efficiency. I can't think of something much more boring this side of a PowerPoint presentation in a 9 a.m. meeting on a Friday. But larva efficiency is something that cannot be overstated in the early game. Making your drones in the right place at the right time to maximize how many more drones you'll be able to get later on, because every second you have 3 larvae on a base is a second wasted. It isn't like the production of Protoss or even Terran. It's very easy to get behind and not have any recourse. Unlike this Reaper, who decides it has recourse throughout the entirety of Serral's base and just kind of moves along. It will see nothing untoward. He'll see that Serral's not mining much gas. He's going to be opting for the early ling speed. And Bunny, not going for anything crazy. It's going to be 3CC. And, I don't think Serral's going to call him on it in Game 1. Terrans, keep trying the 3CC builds. And I say trying, but I mostly mean succeeding, as it has become harder and harder to punish a competent Terran who opts for these 3CCs, especially on the larger maps like Data C. And it looks like a Banshee. The Banshee is the best middle-of-the-road choice, because the Banshee can, of course, do some damage, potentially, but also if there's a Roach all in, or even Ling Bane, well, you have a timer on it, at the very least. So Bunny, with the cookie-cutter, middle-of-the-road, safe, but not too safe, greedy, but not too greedy, TVZ opener. And you know what? I'm going to make a bold call and say Serral's going to build oh my god, I was right. He's got queens. Serral is kind of unique. Now, a lot of players pretend to use multiple control groups for their queens. Serral actually does, usually. You can see here, we can actually use the control groups. He's already got 2 set up for his 2 separate queens, which allows him to defend both edges of the creep simultaneously, because you don't need more than 3 queens to defend a couple Hellions. This is like one of those little details that is like, oh, are you using tabs or spaces? But and whatever I can do to drum up controversy, but it's one of those little details that allows him to just be a little bit faster, a little bit further ahead. So Bunny is doing his best to slow it down. Oh, wow. The barracks explode. What? It's so... Okay. He did go for the double NG Bay into 5 racks. He is so confident. And I think with good and well-scouted reason. But he's so confident that Serral's not going to call him on it. This is the equivalent... Like, well, Serral's doing the same thing, I guess, as Zerg, which is building only drones, maybe a handful of lings at best, going straight to lair, 4 bases, just a bunch of queens to defend. So we got a macro game to kick things off in game 1. It's going to be Serral at 70-something drones. But Bunny has 1-1 in production. He's going to have an upgrade advantage. Serral's going to have a quick Bane speed, which is usually the best counter to any sort of early bio-aggression. He should have... Does he have an Overseer? He does. He knows about the Banshees. I don't know where the Overseer is, which is kind of surprising. It's not here. Where is it? On the other side. The Banshee's actually doing damage. Whoa, Serral is pulling back all of his queens. Bunny slipping and sliding around with the Banshees back there. And any sort of delay at this timing is a huge deal. It buys a lot of space for Bunny to get his production online. This was the most vulnerable early stage of the game for Bunny, when he's trying to get all his barracks up, he's investing in his upgrades, but nothing's paid off yet. He doesn't have 1-1, he didn't have all those reactors running, but he's kind of skipped past that phase, and the Banshees are they're still going. They've already got 9 kills. Serral just droning through it, but it's also taken his attention away from doing any sort of counterattacks. It's also taken a lot of time away from the creep spread as well. And the Banshees get out. Well, so far, Bunny, about as good of a start as you could hope for while investing. He's lost a Hellion. He's lost 1 Hellion. So that's almost the least. It's been 7.5 minutes. The real game will start momentarily, though. Alright. Hellbats converted, aka Baneling Absorbers. The first scan. Combat Shield, seconds away. 1-1. The Combat Shield will finish right before Serral finishes his own 1-1, which is going to be a huge deal for Bunny as he slurps up the Marines. Widowmine finds a hit, but Serral has more than enough to surround and destroy. Bunny trying to drop out again. Are there any Banelings in there? More than enough Zerglings and some Banes behind. So Serral ready to meet that first push and throws it about as far back as he could. Going to have to continue building. He's at 90 drones right now. Infestation pit on the way. That threatening position here where Serral's going to have to defend his main and his 4th on the low ground where it's vulnerable from the same angle. But overall, Serral, a very comfortable and competent defense, and that'll allow him to get his hive finished, his Hydra started, his 2-2 on the way. Bunny's going to have an advantage on the upgrades. Bunny's going to have a 4th base. Bunny has plenty of army supply as he added more production. He's at Octo Racks with double factory and drilling claws on the way. So this is full mid-game Terran. Marines, Marauders, Mines, Medivacs. Oh my. The M&M build. The Banshees even be added. He repaired them and sent them back out, trying to draw some hits. The Banshees still going to work. It looks like they might be cleaned up, but the Medivacs at the back still dealing with it. So far, a hive is on the way. Serral not missing a beat. Gonna knock down those Banshees. Bunny's looking good, but we're quickly passing the phase of the game when you can get realistic damage with your mass bio units. Though Serral has not invested in a lurker down. Oh, there's some Widow Mines back here. Drilling Claws is done. Oh, he got the shot. Nice chunk. Some kills on the low ground. 4 more. 2-2 done. Those Widow Mines gonna take some extra attention away from the battle for Serral, and that'll allow Bunny to clear up some creep. Vipers are the choice. Vipers are a very common choice in this tournament. Oh, Widow Mines. Another chunk. Gotta have an Overseer with everything. Bunny's maxed out. He's got... Oh, the Queens! The Brenda! No! We bring detection! The drops at the back. Bunny, honestly... Okay, hold on, guys. I'm going to the Bunny action camp. This is the most high multitasking phase of the game. Before the ghosts come out, we're trying to do everything. That gets thrown back, but meanwhile, dealing with everything on the right. Gonna take another base, landing the command center, adding another one on. Another scan. He picks up, threatens the main. Though he knows the Spore Crawlers are there and is adjusting for it. Another medevac drop. Right on the... Oh, is he gonna use the Reaper jump? Not quite. There's a Lurker down on the way for Serral. We're gonna flip sides here. Moving the drones away. Dealing with the medevacs. You know, target fire, but Serral has more than enough in position. All right. Reburrows, looking for more. A lot of the armies that did. There's the larva injects. Yes, that when it looked like the screen was glitching, that was actually him injecting. Widowmine's finding good hits. Bunny has solid upgrades here. A few Widowmines could turn the tides, but the same could be said of the Vipers. They're looking for more. Parasitic Bomb, just a default choice, though maybe a bit of a waste in that exact scenario. Serral diffuses the situation. The Queens and a few Lings are going to take this all out, and Serral... Whoa! Some juicy Widowmine hits. A little chunk through, and suddenly Bunny has more than enough army supply on both fronts. He takes out a hatchery. The medevacs are still intact. The Vipers haven't been able to close the distance. The Lurker Den is actually at the 4th or 5th or whatever base this is. It's now looking very lonely while upgrading seismic spines. The Lurker range. Finally, that burrowed Zergling will be dealt with. Bunny's still keeping a ton of pressure on. Does he have a Ghost Academy? He does, but no ghosts on the field quite yet, but still no Lurkers for Serral, so nothing prompting those ghosts either. Just microing, stutter, stepping, the Marauders living through. Not everyone will survive, but enough in order to take the base, dragging Serral back into the main. Bunny keeping him busy right now. On the top left, the Bunny is stepping in again. +3 on the way. The Lurker upgrades will finish as well, but Serral has not added on any Lurkers yet. He's still reliant on this very mobile unit composition, but if he wants to lock down the army, he's gonna need the Lurkers. Bunny's never gonna give him enough units to fight, essentially, without the Lurkers to force the issue. That is so many. Right now, Bunny's at 13 Widowmines. Making up a significant chunk, almost a quarter of his army supply. And paying off as a volley of Widowmines spray across the front lines. The Hydra's at the back, though. The detection's there. The mines are going to be cleaned up. Bunny forced to retreat from this base. Parasitic Bomb forcing the medevacs away. A few more mines coming up into the fray. Zerglings obliterated, but the Banelings are rolling through as well. Overseers looking at everything, but seeing... Oh, Baneling mine? Not nearly as good as the Widow version. He tried. He gave it a shot, but all it did was make a few Marines somewhat angry. Wow. Bunny using the Nova Covert Ops skin of the Ghosts. Fun fact. A man of culture, I see. Well. Though, interestingly, none of the other skins for his units. Only the Nova Covert Ops Ghosts. Make your own, draw your own conclusion. Well, Parasitic Bomb on a couple, but EMP, oh, massive Widowmine hits. Marines staggered behind the Marauders. The Banelings not able to break through. A few more Widowmine knock out all the detection, and with it, Serral is forced back yet again. Bunny holds the high ground. The medevacs are still intact. There's no Banelings to deal with this. Not a single Lurker to slow it down, but another round of Banes are on the way. He's consuming his own hatchery. The Widowmines will burrow. Bunny is staggering his units. The Widowmines almost taking out the medevacs as well. But he's able to get out just barely, and this is where rapid reignition thrusters could come in. I'm just saying, as one of the top advocates for rapid reignition, this video was not brought to you by rapid reignition thrusters, but I would accept the sponsorship. 9 Lurkers on the way. 11 more banelings, a single infestor, and that could end up being the big key here. And so could, of course, a nuclear missile in the production tab. Some more Widow Mines, taking out chunks. Serral admitting the lurkers are required, but it might already be a little late as the ghosts are solidly on the field. He's got 5 of them. 9 lurkers done. They have both upgrades. Both flavors of cloak are done for Bunny. Banshee and Ghost. We got more coming in here. Fungal looking good. The lurkers looking to dive into the front of the fray. Banelings covering their assault. And Banelings on the other side of the planetary crashing into the FCVs. Planetary's gone. He spreads, he stims, and he gets sliced and diced. The lurkers are far too much. Serral picked his timing, and it seems to have been the right one. He waited this long for the lurkers, and apparently it was just enough. He breaks through a key base. His Bunny's mining out his main. He's not going to have the income to keep up. Those ghosts are dying so dramatically, but they are dying, and that is the important part. Serral takes the income lead decisively for the first time. He's had the income lead, but not comfortably. But after taking out that base, things are looking a lot better for the finisher. He has played an exhausting game thus far, averaging over 500 APM. He's going to need more to close it out. More headed north. More Widow Mines. Another base taken out. Full medevac goes down. That can't easily be replaced. Bunny is not sitting at 200 supply. He's at 140 and dropping. What's in there? Is that Widow Mines? No, it's Marauders. He's really hoping it was Widow Mines. Doing whatever he can to try to keep Serral busy. Bunny needs another minute or two to reestablish his economy. A nuke! A nuke! What? He's behind the base. He knows. Wait, does he know? Still knows. 100%. No, don't you dare land. What? I mean, that ghost ain't getting out of there, but... oh my god! Oh, it's about as dead as it gets. I can't believe Atlanta. It moves it that much closer to being sniped off. The hatchery itself. Oh, the ghost falling back. Even some EMPs just across everything. The energy mostly gone. The queen showing up. Not like they could cast anything anyways. The lurkers are holding the line. The army supplies are pretty close to even. Those liberators are everything right now. They force the hydras to come closer, and maybe... oh, the Widow Mines. He even evacuates the SCVs. He only loses 3 somehow in this fight. All the lurkers unburrowed. All the lurkers... okay, the lurkers are running. Somehow Bunny holds. He saved the SCVs with the medevacs. He only lost 3 of them, and he could not afford to lose any more. What a save. Oh god, the base. After the nuke, he gets it. And a Widow Mine! I'm not sure what this medevac is doing. That's going to... oh no. It's gone now. Oh, that was not ideal. I'm not sure what... he's changeling? Just a very unruly marine. Medevac drop. Bunny is on the ropes. He knows it. But he keeps slipping away. Serral can't quite pin him down for long enough to get the knockout blow. Another hatch. 8 Marines, all it takes. 3 more ghosts on the way. 6. Oh, the queens. A planetary holds the wall here. Some ghosts moving into position. That is a very key infestor down there. The banelings are trickling through, but far enough. There's an oh, he just... okay, he gets it. The scan found it. I don't know if Serral even realized there was an infestor there. And just like that, Bunny is closing the income gap. And the supply gap. The lurkers are passing their expiration date as the army gets more and more focused on dealing with them. Serral down to 5 lurkers. Bunny up to 11 ghosts. With, oh, good luck dealing with that. Alright. He's got overlapping liberators. He's got a multi-tiered Widow Mine field. Just enough bio to keep units busy until the Widow Mines can do their best work. Half the units are in medevacs here. SCV is on the run. Somehow only a handful have died. That seems to be a running trend with Bunny. He manages to get out of there just barely in time. Even if he sends his SCVs off to die to Banelings, apparently, they don't manage to die. Well, dodges a Widow Mine hit, trying to deal with... Serral realizes that fighting over a single half-built command center is probably not a worthwhile use of his units or APM. Another base sniped off, but Bunny has scrapped his way back to 190 supply. He has fought tooth, nail, and Widow Mine for every inch here. He's built his ghost count up. And now Serral is struggling to hold on to these outlying bases. Another mine drawn out, but now, well, Serral has 2,800, 5,400 in the bank, but Bunny actually has quite a bank himself. This has been such an incredibly high economy game. And also, Serral does have, ooh, that rich Vespine base kicking in. He's actually got a Nidus network on the way as well. Though, Nidusing the production is a bit of a questionable move at this stage. If you can get it, sure, but you don't want to commit too much supply. Oh my, well, massive fight coming in. Widow Mines take out almost all the Zerglings. The Banelings trickle in and are gunned down. But it doesn't matter. Bunny immediately refills. I take it back. Serral immediately refills with 68 more Zerglings, replacing those that are lost. 759 so far. Bunny's actually lost 2,000 more gas. As it's been just so many Zerglings dying for Serral. He's doing just like macro Nidus. We've now got building armor on the way. The Liberator's doing what they can. An Infestor somehow made its way deep into the 3rd, 4th base location. Serral, a beautiful blinding cloud. The ghosts actually went a little far forward, are now forced to retreat as Serral makes a beeline with his Banelings, trying to interrupt those snipes. A lot of the ghosts are killed with that wave, but the planetary finishes. The Hydras are forced to retreat, and the ghosts have no moral obligation to not shoot them in the back, as they are very happy to do so. Those Hydras having a tough time breaking through, but at the same time, Bunny losing SCVs, losing a lot of his army supplies. Serral brawling it out right now. His production is kind of split somewhat, but he keeps finding more and more beautiful parasitic mob. EMP lands, but well after the parasitic mob. A great fight here from Bunny. A good concave, looking to the high ground. But does Serral just have too many Banelings? He's chasing the ghosts. He doesn't have detection. He doesn't need it. I guess maybe one Overseer. But when Banelings explode, they do damage anyways. The army supply is actually in favor of Bunny. Serral has 81 drones. Bunny's out of bank. He's retreating into his Nidus! What a save! What a save! No, the rest of the... Oh, well, some of the drones did not get with the program, but I can't believe we actually saw an escape Nidus for drones. We've seen the escape medevacs. Their growth going to great lengths to preserve their workers, but only Serral has been successful thus far. In the long run, at least. I love it, Serral. This is we're actually seeing an evolution of the late game here. With these Niduses, some Infestors. Serral coming in for what could be the final wave. Abducts, yank the Liberators out of the fray. The Planetary, an afterthought, and now just gone. Everything retreating. There's no Planetary to fall back to. The Ghost splitting. Every bit of bio lifts the orbital. There's nothing to gun it down for now. Bunny will hold, but at what cost? He's down to 22 SCVs. He has almost no mining. Serral has battered him down. And he's one or two good fights away from knocking him out. Oh, Widow Mines. Oh, but the Infestor finds the fungal. Does it even matter? Bunny, a valiant fight. But Serral looks like he's gonna win the war. He's lost 9,000 more minerals, but 3,000 less gas. And Bunny has gas in the bank. Oh my. Serral mined almost 20,000 more minerals. What a game. 1,001 Zerglings lost. Apparently that's the number. Well, a decent start. Bunny showing he can hang with Serral, but needs to avoid being hung by him at this stage. Data C is a tough map to go late game against the best macro Zerg, or just Zerg in general in the world. I think game 2 will give him an opportunity, as I know which player picked which map. It's very clear. Game 2 is on Waterfall, which has like half the rush distance and bases of Data C. We'll see if Serral has anything up his sleeves here. His armies, maybe. But Bunny looked very good. But it looked inevitable. Well, there was a few moments before Serral committed to the first lurkers where there was doubt, I think. Like, the lurkers, you don't want to go lurkers too early because they're a big investment. You have to put a lot of army around them unless you have like 25 lurkers or something ridiculous. If you make them too early, then they are just a liability. You make them too late, and you're dead. So, Serral choosing, I think especially against those mass Widowmine strats, lurkers are on the short list of options to deal with them. I guess you have like Broodlords, but you can't really go Broodlords when you're under that much pressure. So, if there are that many Widowmines on the field, you need something that can outrange them reliably. And that's the purpose for the lurkers. Notice how kind of by the end of the game, as the Widowmines got cleared out and the ghosts became more common, he shied away from the lurkers and focused a lot more on the Hydraling Bane. That's because, for better or worse, the best counter to ghosts is giving them nothing important to shoot at. The most valuable unit being the Hydras, and I guess the Vipers, which were never vulnerable because he's keeping very good care of them. But he just never gave them anything to really do that wouldn't also be served by a Mariner Marauder, so it just became cost ineffective to have the Ghost, which is kind of weird to say. Well, Serral went for pull first. Gonna try to keep Bunny guessing. It's just gonna be a macro pull first. It's kind of like if you're gonna do a 2 racks or something like that, I'll shut it down. No form of aggression behind. In fact, he's gonna have even a little bit of a later speed than he usually would. But it's just a 3 hatch behind. So Serral flirted with the idea of... He's making Bunny stay honest. Oh, Bunny? He's not going for the 3rd CC before Starport. He's not going for the default super greed build. It looks like Bunny is opting for a more 2-base oriented build. That is by no means all in. Let's be clear. The 3CC is actually very greedy. It's just kind of a mutually agreed upon, pun somewhat intended, as both sides have decided on most maps that it's in their best interest to sit back and build up. But it is not an all-in by any means to go for a 2-base play as Terran for a while. Of course, if you don't do any damage and you end up just sitting in your base, it's not nearly as good as having 3cc, but that's just basic math. So it's going to be a Viking, though it looks very much like a Marauder Hellbat push, a knee breaker build. Knock them down and burn them out. The Viking may be burying the lead here. The Viking to make it look very much like a macro play, but guess what? Serral had an Overlord coming in from the opposite angle. Yeah, well, so he sees something else building. He could assume that's a Liberator. He did not see the armory. Serral smells sus, says Serral, which I think are words in English or otherwise he would never, ever be heard uttering, but he's building a Baneling nest. And he's doing it well before a lair or anything else. So obviously some alarm bells are being rung here. Oh no, but here comes the first class trip for the Marauders to the front. The concussive shells. He's not waiting for Hellbats. He's knocking the queen, he's slowing them down and burning them out. And the big advantage of the queens is when they're all together, they can easily kite back this army. But there's no Banelings. And this is also the rush distance of Waterfall coming into play. They just get there so damn quick. One boost the medevac, the Marauders are already knocking on your front door. The queen count has been cut down, some of them trying to come from the third. There's no Zerglings left with which to make Banelings. Wait, the medevac's still alive. Finally it goes down, but it got some more healing up. I can't believe the medevac lived. More Banelings wandering in, but they're trying to find a target. Wow, the Reaper Grenade. Oh no, and he went back to mining for some. No, it's over. Like, that's just too much damage. It doesn't matter, even if he cleans this up. I don't know, Serral came back to mining for some reason. That is way too much damage. There's a Liberator here, 4 kills. Oh, it didn't even end with this. Oh no. Serral's at the point now where we have to ask, Serral, why are you still here? I think, like, you gotta give it a shot on the other side, but I don't foresee him staying very much longer because as soon as you walk up, he hasn't seen the 3rd CC, he hasn't seen the hard wall. This is the most... No, you don't go to bed until finishing your Baneling bust. But he knows it's coming, Mom. There's no way it's gonna do any damage. He has a Liberator. No, you do the Baneling bust and then you leave the game. You're a professional. Alright, well. Here we go. Okay. Kinda. And there that is. Bunny with a decisive Hellbat timing. Serral with a sportsman-like Baneling bust GG. God, he just swooped in. Serral knew, but Bunny played the map well. And he executed well. Serral caught reeling from that. Which is rare. But Bunny just knocks him down. 1-1. That medevac staying alive any amount past the initial fight. Just... You need Banelings, or you need all your queens together. That is simply it. If you don't have either of those two things, you're gonna take damage. It's just a question of how much. You're going CC first. I love how Bunny's playing the series, I will say. We got the 3cc, we got the 2 base time, and we got the CC first. These are not like way crazy. Oh my god, what a new genre defining build. No. But like he's not sticking to the same thing. He's not innovation for 3 years straight here. Just mixing it up slightly and just enough to keep Serral guessing. And that's, I think, very important to do. that begs the question of which map did Serral veto? It's either Moondance or Stargazers. We may see by the end of this. But, yeah, there's a significant quantity of maps that, as a Zerg against Terran, you would consider vetoing. I would think the map that Bunny vetoed is almost certainly Cosmic Sapphire, which is just, there's so much space. It's relatively easily defensible. The Zerg can get a gold base and potentially hold on to it. It's a tough map to actually keep pressure onto the Zerg, so I would be surprised to see this later on in the series. Where do we go from the 2cc? Because in many ways, the 2cc is actually better against early aggression than your normal 1-Rax expand, because you've already got the extra economy kicking in by the time any sort of roach push can come across. You're more likely to have walled off the low ground, though it looks like Bunny just making sure he has a... We have seen games lost because players will just neglect the high ground wall. Starport begins. Zergling shows up, and that Zergling actually saw the reactor building Marines. I guess it could build Reapers, but it's not building Reapers. So, a little extra information there, though. Bunny will immediately flip it over. Is it battlecruiser time? Bunny has 300 gas. He's not starting the fusion core, though. It's just for cloak. Bunny, let me dream. It's a safer choice, but not as fun. Everybody loves the... I mean, we all love the box art builds. Or else. Banshee on the way, but with the 3rd CC, so Bunny still has options for mech. I know we don't really pay much attention to what Serral's doing in the early game because we've seen it before, and we'll see it again. He's got that early game figured out. He knows what he wants. He's gonna stick to it. Did he just fake an armory? Is he not gonna, like... He built an armory under the OV. Is Serral really gonna bite on that? Come on. You don't start the armory when the OV is obviously dying. No, there's no way. There's no way Serral's gonna take that seriously. Okay, that was... I like the attempt, but also, what are you doing? Yeah, Serral not changing. He's not building a Roach Warren. He's getting a Baneling Nest, but he's getting it with the lair, indicating he just wants Bane Speed, aka a standard build. He has adjusted essentially not at all. So definitely not biting on that armory. He started Burrow, but it looks like it was an accident. He canceled it immediately. Baneling speed. Uh-oh. Wait. Okay. Oh no, those queens! Where's the Overseer? Oh no. Well, one of the queens has energy for transfuse. We'll use it, but already taking some damage with the Hellions contributing here. Yeah, there's gonna be detection, but 2 queens down. Real damage again on the Banshees. Not like 10 drones and constant creep denial, but the Banshee's finding a lot of, creating a lot of space. I know that sounds like one of those things casters say when they don't have any, like, mining time lost. or delayed the base when on like 5th or 6th bases. But at this stage, and also the Zerglings are sticking around here too, so no opportunity to get anything done on the other side. That was somewhat annoying for Serral. So the upgrade advantage for Bunny's pretty significant here. Over a minute. And the armory, maybe wishing he made that actual armory. He's going to be a little slow on it. And that means Serral has a chance to catch up somewhat if we get there. Because right now, somehow Serral has missed the entire army moving. I think he saw it with a Zergling there. This is kind of a nasty tank location. And Serral only has 9 banelings. The queens are already dead. This keeps happening. This is not supposed to happen. Creep spread is supposed to give you infinite vision forever, right, Terrans? Somehow Bunny, though, has managed to outmaneuver it. Between the Banshees and the Hellions and the tanks here, he's just gunned down the queens. He's denying the creep, and now he's right on top of the base. Even bringing an SCV out for repair. Serral, blindsided yet again. 1-1 is not done. He can't even fight this. Serral is down. He's 74 to 42 armies. He's supply blocked. What is happening? He was taking another base, but this is not the time to be losing hatcheries. There was no reason. If he was in position, he doesn't lose that. Bunny completely blindsided him. He killed the queens. The banelings had no opportunity. Serral took a terrible fight with the banes, kind of almost a panic. The tanks were more than enough. Bunny really maneuvering them well. He's using those medevacs. Unfortunately, you can't fly him while sieged up, but he's essentially putting the tanks in positions where they wall themselves off behind these mineral lines. Another drop. Bunny really evolving on that multi-pressure. And Serral does not have the army supply to keep up with this. He can't spread his army and fight a better upgraded army on both fronts. 2-2 is not done yet, but it's on the way. Serral has not started his upgrades at all. He started a hive. He's now starting the 2-2, but there's going to be a full minute of advantage, and Serral is supply blocked. He keeps losing overlords. Hatcheries are some supply. Another base tries to drag out the mine, successfully does so. But Bunny is nearing a max out here at less than 10 minutes while fighting a bunch of burrowed lings, which is a thing. Is that even... Did he do that on purpose? I guess. Meanwhile, it looks like there was a burrowed ling on the other side. He may have accidentally... Oh, no, my God! And it all falls apart for Bunny pretty quick. I mean, it's not all gone, but that was definitely a win for Serral. Wow. He's looking all the wrong direction at all the wrong time. And now the Widow Mines are turning against him. Serral. Whoa, these Widow Mines are definitely making things a little closer. Serral having a tough time there, but those banelings crashing in. You don't expect it, like nobody's ready for it. At this level, you just don't see it until you do. But the Widow Mines taking quite a toll on the way across. So even though a lot of the Marines go down, but oh, baneling mines! Well, didn't do enough to stop him from continuing forward. Well, those are on the field. Unfortunately, they don't... You can technically set them to trigger themselves, but it doesn't really work because they'll trigger on like a Marauder leading the charge there or something. Those Widow Mines, on the other hand, doing quite well for themselves. As Bunny maintains a 30 supply lead. And while we saw a few banelings crashing, you gotta remember, banelings, when they attack, they die. I'm not sure if they're excited about it or if they're upset, but it doesn't really matter after it's over. Either way. So even though Serral with half a dozen Banes crashed into the Marines, or even more than that, that still did cost him a lot of Lings. And Bunny is still maxed. Despite everything, Serral's done nothing on the other side of the map. He's not touched Bunny economically. At this point, yeah, the Vipers come out. They're going to kill a couple of the medevacs and drive away a few more. But Bunny just ate 8 barracks. He's got a couple factories, a reactored starport. Serral cannot put enough units on the field. He's struggling to hold on to his bases, let alone even thinking about a counterattack. This base gonna go down the queen count. They're out, but there's almost nothing left to protect them. They're too late to the party. It's almost over. 3-3 starts for Serral. He's down to 4 bases. Bunny's on a 5th. Serral's trying for one. He just started it, though. Catching everything between a rock and a hard place. Just a bunch of Marauders. Baneling's not going to do much there. He picks up the Venn diagram of freedom. Parasitic Bomb going to help, but Bunny already pre-splitting it. GG. WP. Wow. That's a very interesting thing to come out with. It's not even match point. Like, that was... It's 1-1. Wow. Like, I really don't know how to take that. Serral throwing out a GGWP, and it's not even the end of the series. I mean, no one is more of an expert on when a game is well played than Serral. He is the expert. So, I have to take him at his word. I mean, it was clearly an incredibly well-played game by Bunny. But whenever Serral's in the game, you have to think, like, what's going on? Like, but it wasn't that Serral really made mistakes. It was that Bunny outmaneuvered him. You could say, like, well, Serral was not omnipotent. Because that's essentially what he had to be. Bunny just... He caught him off guard. Like, that one spot of the map. He covered it. The Banshees kept the creep spread back. And they denied vision, including things like scouting links, which allowed Bunny to maneuver into that spot, that tank positioning towards the north side. And the first time Serral saw that army was when the Marines were sprinting in to slaughter his queens. That is what happens to me on the ladder, not to Serral in a premier tournament. Okay? Serral has been the best argument for nerfing queens for several years running, for reference, so... How? I don't know. Take your pick. But Bunny is showing how they can at least be dealt with. What do you do? It's another CC first, by the way. I'm thinking. I gotta think out loud. That's the whole thing. Like and subscribe. He didn't really do anything wrong. That's the hard part. Like, it just... He took a half step forward, and it felt like the game slipped out from under him. Do you go for the early all-in? He hasn't really tried that. He did the pull first, but that wasn't really anything. Oh, this is a battle. The Zergling comes in. Yeah, Serral has not tried any sort of early aggression. And it feels like we're at 2-1 now. It feels like the time has passed for it. Maybe last game would have been it, but it becomes almost too obvious. And Bunny is not doing particularly greedy. The only greedy build, I love how he's played the series, like the full best of 5, because the only obscenely greedy build, even though he's done CC first, that's nothing in comparison to 3CC into 2 NG Bay. If you go 3CC into 2 NG Bay, even with Banshees, you have no units for like 8 minutes. Okay, like 6.5, but past that, he's gone with the 2 base. He's gone CC first these last couple games, but he's gone into 2 base, so he has a solid unit count and should at least have Banshees by the time a Roach timing or a Baneling Dust would hit, unless it's on a 1 base or something, which is relatively easy to scout. So he's not really leaving a big window to punish him. Serral has not attempted it, but like... Who gets to own this reactor? It's a little awkward. Is that a barracks? It's a bit odd. Alright. I was wrong. 2 base. Bunny, all about those timings. And once again, here, the production comes online. This is, for the next minute, is Bunny's weakest point. Oh my god. I want to once again want to point out what he's done with the series. He's gone Cloaked Banshee almost every game. This time, it's just 1 Banshee. And instead of adding Cloak, instead of adding more Banshees, he is sprinting into more production. I would argue that just the threat of Cloak Banshees, like, Serral has to react to it now. Like, he's got to take it seriously. He's even got an extra Spore out here. He added an extra Spore because of the Cloak Banshees from the last games. So the last 3 games have given this Banshee Cloak without investing in it, at least in Serral's mind. So Bunny has outmaneuvered him mentally here, and that's going to make it that little bit easier to do damage later on, because Serral has that little bit less economy. He's even fighting a Spore Crawl. Like, what are we doing out here? I wonder if Serral will figure it out soon, but it's a +1. Did he stop building SCVs? I think he did, but it's not like a super high commitment to it. Round 47. He's going to have 5 racks production. He's building tanks. When these medevacs come out, he's going to have a very dangerous army. Serral does not have Evo chambers. He doesn't have... I think he's realized something. Oh, he spotted the factory move. Okay, he knows what this is. He's spotted the factory move, and he knows it's going to be 2 base production explosion. So he's building links. He's got 57 drones, but he's only building links because he knows it's just going to be an absolute wave of Marines and tanks and medevacs. And he's just going to try to crush it and keep Bunny off 3 bases. Now, still though, without a 4th hatch, you can't put that much on the field, and Serral will not have any upgrades, just the Baneling speed, which does give +5 to Baneling HP as well. He's just going to go straight up the center here. Wow. He drops the tanks out, at least one of them. He's going to take the front. He is not hesitating. He's just going. He's got everything done here. Serral trying to crash in. Does he have what it takes to drive this all the way back? The Banelings. The spread, though. He's off a creep. And without it, that tank took a lot of the Banelings with it. Another tank is on the way. Serral unable to break this. Bunny just threw the tanks down and said, deal with it. And Serral could not decisively. There's still the Banshee as well. The tank count was whittled down, but it was not eliminated. The medevacs still have energy, and they're mostly still intact. Serral is actually behind heavily in army supply. He's going to try to cut off reinforcements. Marines are chasing Banelings, which is quite a situation. So the Lings are trying to cut off reinforcements here. And Bunny actually trying to cut off the Lings as well. Serral still making a ton of Zerglings and Banelings. He's cleared the creep, Bunny has. The creep is a huge part of these units being able to stay alive. Serral is setting up. It's just so much bio here. The tanks well covered here. Well, here comes the finisher. There's only so much more time. Eventually, Bunny's going to be knocking on the door again. A third tank. Oh, even a Liberator. God, the spread here. I can't believe it's not butter. Here comes the Queen. Serral streams in with everything. The tanks try to target the Banes. The Marines retreating back. The Banelings trickling in. It's not enough. He holds. He stands his ground when he can, and a tactical stutter step when he can't. Bunny continues the assault. Serral is not decisively defeated, but Bunny actually gains ground. Some more Banelings, but not enough Banelings to scare the Marines. Only +1 attack. Serral catches a tank. This is a very Wings of Liberty-esque game. The catching of the reinforcements here. Serral doing whatever he can to blunt this attack. Bunny starting to run out of minerals in his main back at home, but the Banelings are not enough! The Banelings have to be covered. The Banelings are vulnerable on their own, as weird as that is. And here comes Bunny. Target fire picks up. He does pick up, which might give an opportunity to surround without enough Marines to do critical damage. But the Marines are actually on the other side of things. The target fire is good. He picks up to dodge. And who's going to stop him? The Queen's off of creep fighting Liberators. The Marine count is too damn high. He's tearing through everything. There's no more Banelings left. There's nothing left to stop him. And the world champion in decisive fashion. GG. WP. GL. Bunny, the clear victor. Serral, the sportsman. Wow. After everything, Bunny not even that close. Game 1 was one of the most dramatic seesaw battles back and forth as Serral ground out a win. And then Bunny just shut the door. Wow. All right. Bunny just played incredibly well, and he played the full series there. I really loved what he did with his builds. It's worth a breakdown, but we got no more time for that today. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check out this video as well. Maybe you'll like it. Probably not as much. This is a great series. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck. Have fun. I'll see you next time. Stay chill.